Alright, so I've just been sitting in the garage today, sitting on my boat, just because I do it a lot when I'm bored, and I figured I could do a tackle box tour, bass fishing, just because, you know, it's winter, there's not a lot of fishing going on, and I kind of got to organize how I like it. So, without further ado, let's get into the tackle. So I'm going to start off with my Topwater box, because it's my favorite box, obviously. Who doesn't love some Topwater? So I'm going to just go through some of the baits I use more often. So we got a river to sea popper. It's a bubble walker, but it's a popper. Just some regular poppers. This is actually the Booyah Prank. It's like the crankbait bill. It's pretty terrible. I would not suggest buying one. Guggen poppers. Then we got some spooks. This spook, there's one morning this summer. I was on the Snake River up in Washington, and I got 150 bass, all smallmouth, on this in one morning. It was crazy. So I really like that spook. And then next to that we got frogs. Never once caught a fish on a frog. I've got quite a few blow ups, but it's hard to hook smallmouth with these. And over here we got some, these are my go-to poppers. This is my first ever popper. It was Rebel. You got a Strike King, and this is a mega bass. This is the go-to. If I'm throwing a popper, this is probably what I'm gonna fish. The hooks on the mega bass kind of suck, so I make sure to replace them. This is a Mustad triple, feathered triple grip, and this is a Owner Stinger triple. Great hooks, haven't had any problems with them. And finally, we got some whopper ploppers. We got a 75 in bluegill, which is what I normally fish, and then we got a 90, and I'm not 100% sure what color this is. I think it's some sort of shad. So let's get to the next box. All right, this is my crankbait box, and I got quite a few. These used to be like my go-tos. Like if I was fishing a crankbait. So right up top we got, I guess shallow diving. They're mostly square bills. We got a few of these Rapala DT4s. These are an Ike's Demon, great color, like my favorite Rapala color. We got some Strike Kings. This is a Berkeley, what's it called? Square bowl, pretty good. I fish that quite often. Over here we got some Wiggleworths, and this, yes, this. My mom, I was like, hey, pick out any lure and I'll buy it. She picked out this crankbait. It's got some appendages. I don't know. It's pretty crazy. Have not caught on it. Don't know why. You got some DT6s. This is a DT10. Pretty bomb color. And then this is a Yozuri. I have no clue what it's called, but it's a pretty good looking crankbait. All right, here we got shad wraps. I love shad wraps. I kill trout on these and quite a few smallmouth. This one right here. Caught so many trout on this, and even a bass. Last year I caught my first bass of the year on this crank, and this is my original shadow rat. And then I got a jointed down here. I'm not gonna get it out, but it's that perch one. Caught quite a few on that. We got liplesses. I don't fish liplesses very often. I got quite a few. I got some quarter ounce down here, some half ounce, but I don't fish them that often. I want to get into them because I've seen my buddies like Cody and RJ just slay on them. And over here we got the small square bills. These are all KVD 1.0s. Got a sexy shad, summer sexy shad, chartreuse, and this, I don't know what you want to call this. It was from an MTV box. It's called the Runt. Yeah, I don't really fish that. But these are my crankbaits, and you know. All right, this is my jerkbait box, my favorite box. I fish jerkbaits all the time. So right up top, we got some deep diving X wraps, one clown, one perch, and then I got some deep diving shadow wraps. I don't fish deep diving jerks very often. I don't know, I just don't prefer them. Here we got a regular X wrap and a Lucky Craft. I don't fish those very often either. Here's the jerks that I fish constantly. Just the shallow diving shadow wraps. This purple one right here, I caught so many fish on. This is my go-to color. Then I got just like a blue orange belly. We got an olive and a silver. Fish these pretty often. And below that we have some small ones. These are Lucky Crafts. I like them. Lucky Craft pointers. I like them quite a bit. We got a ghost minnow and a bluegill. Fish these a lot. These are just like shallow. These are just jerkbaits I don't fish very often. And this one right here, this is the holy grail. A mega bass in gold. I really like gold hard baits. Got quite a few on this year, and like I said earlier, you gotta replace these hooks. They're not great. I prefer replacing. Right here we have my jig box. Ignore that melted plastic up there. It's kind of gross. Top row, we got all tungsten jigs. Got a white, got a, I don't know what you want to call this, camo maybe? Actually, this isn't tungsten. This is a Mollix Nano jig. Kill smallmouth here in Oregon. It's tiny, and smallmouth just eat it up. And then these also aren't. These are Bass Patrol jigs. I also really like these for smallmouth, nice and small. This is a big jig, never once used it. These are all Bitsy bugs. I mean, most of these are Bitsy bugs. They're cheap, they slam. But this one is a custom hand-tied jig that I got at a tournament, and it is incredible looking. I will, I'll link the Instagram account so you can buy them if you want. The hook's super sharp, thin, small profile. I love these jigs. And then, of course, I got some chatterbaits, but I'm a smallmouth fisherman. I don't fish these very often. All right, my last hardbait box is I got my my fancy box, if you will. I got a glide bait, which I pretty new. I traded RJ something for this. And then I got, I don't know what this is called. It's pretty terrible looking. Caught, I think, one smallmouth on this. Oh, it's a subwalker, that's what it's called. Pretty sure it's a musky bait, but that's fine. Got some spinners for trout. Don't fish these very often, like this pink. They're all kind of conglomerated. Got the baby bull shad and a baby bull gill. These are amazing. I would highly recommend them. I prefer the bull shad, just for smallmouth, a little smaller profile, and the gold, obviously. Then I have the Spro Rat. I've wanted these for so long. I saw them this year, and I saw them in a store, and I'm like, I just have to have it. So I bought it. I haven't caught a fish on it. Then here we got Castmaster spoons. These slay. Trout, bass, everything. Then I have a custom spoon here. It's a quarter. I promise I'm not defacing money. Oh. But we got a nice quarter here. And we got one big gold spoon that I don't fish very often. And if you're curious, the hooks that I was talking about earlier, these are the stinger trebles that I really like. And this is the feather treble, the mustad. It's an ultra point, my bad. So yeah, this is my fancy box. All right, here's my terminal box. Make sure and get waterproof boxes for terminal, because you don't want this stuff rusting. This is a lot of money and just hooks and metal. So right up top, this is just like, I got some glue, random hooks, some split shot, hook file, yeah, nothing super important. Down below that, we got all my weights. These are mostly lead. Got lots of drop shot. I have a few tungsten. I don't know the brand of this tungsten, so the cheapest tungsten I can find. We got jig heads. These are just regular, like ball head jig heads for swim baits or whatever. These are tube jigs. I love fishing tubes, so I can make sure and keep a lot of their tube jigs. Assorted treble hooks. I got size 4 and 6 that I carry because they're pretty common. Then wacky jig heads. I love these. I fish wacky a ton, specifically this year, and these I love these. Get down deep quick, and I'm a really impatient fisherman, so these help with fishing the wacky. Up here, got Ned jig heads. Keep them in this little box. These are all the Z-Man ones. They're really good jig heads. I mean, it's a net head. What can you ask for? Got some wacky rings, pegs for all the, like, I don't know, once or twice a year that I flip. Split rings. Ooh, flipping hooks that I've never used. Swivels. All right, drop shot hooks. I drop shot fish a ton. Ooh, 1/0 for finesse Texas rig. Single 3/0 hook. Some more 1/0s for finesse Texas rig. And I guess these are 3 or 4/0s. Oops. Yeah, sick. That's my terminal box. All right, here's my miscellaneous soft plastics box. Got a lot of, these are all Bass Pro Shops Senkos. I don't use them very often. I prefer the Yama Senkos. But I got a lot of them, so they go in here. Over here, we have drop shot stuff. So we got the 10,000 fish shimmer shad, got a single zoom drop shot worm, and a whole bunch of these Yum drop shot worms, which I don't use very often. And then in the center here, we have a single tube, a Kraken craw that I found, Dito bug that I found. Here's a Rage craw. I prefer the Strike King Rage over not over Bandito bug, over Guggen stuff. That's just my personal opinion. Zoom grub, my bad. Another Bandito bug, and 2 Missile baby D-bombs. And then, of course, Got my lucky rock. I had this rock in my pocket when I caught my PB, so now it has to go everywhere I go fishing. Without a doubt, my top plastic gotta be robo worms. I like the 4.5-inch straight tail. I also like the fat straight tails. My top colors, let's see if I can find them. I use a lot of oxblood red flake for clean water, and margarita mutilator and dirty water, but honestly, I switch these up all the time. Sometimes this is clean water, this is dirty water. The smallmouth just love these. So as you can see, I think I have like 15 packs or something. Those are pretty great. Next up, got a lot of Zoom stuff. Got some grubs, some more grubs. Ooh, these are pretty bomb. They're tiny little brush hogs. I caught my first bass of the year on this. Wait, second bass. First largemouth on this thing. More grubs. These are speed craws. I don't really like these very often. I'll probably give those away at some point. 2 packs of those. More grubs. Chunks, another thing I don't use, probably give away. Brush hogs, bigger brush hogs, they're fine. Don't use them very often. These are pretty bomb. Got the Zoom double ringer. These are killer on a finesse Texas rig or a wacky rig. Then I also, aside from the Zoom, aside from the robo worms, I like these Zoom worms. I use them quite a bit, especially if like I'm going through a lot of worms, because the robo worms are pretty expensive. These are pretty cheap. So I'm getting a lot of bites. Switch to these, save some money. Then this is just another sorted pack. It's got some of those yum worms in it. Alright, here's some worms. Alright, next up we got Strike King. Got lots of rage. These are rage craws. Tons of these. Rage bugs. I have a lot of flipping stuff, even though I don't flip very often. These are pretty bomb. Menace grubs. These are killer trailers on jigs. Got the regular size and the smalls, minis. A little bit of moisture in there, that's not good. Mini rage craws. Then coffee tubes, these are my go-to. I have this purple, but I prefer green pumpkin gold flake. I think that the smallmouth just kill anything with gold in it. Then got some more packs of those. Ooh. Some assorted KVD Perfect Plastics. These are one of my favorite drop shot worms. Dream Shots. RJ really got me on these, and I think they slam. So I like fishing these. Alright, now we got Senkos. This right here, the best color for wacky rigging, Texas rigging, anything. Green pumpkin, gold flake. Fish these 100% of the time. Just another pack. Is this the same color? Oh no, this is baby bass. I didn't know I even had this color. Alright, this I think is just green pumpkin. One thing you'll come to learn about me is I only fish green pumpkin. It works in clean water, dirty water, and I'm like, if they're gonna eat something else, they'll eat green pumpkin. Consequently, this is watermelon red flake, I think. It's kind of washed off there, that's okay. This isn't a Senko. These are just grubs, some Yama grubs. Cody told me to buy these, they're fine. I think the Zooms are a little more durable, I prefer them. But I got these. Alright, these are some Bass Pro, what do they call them? Stickos. I like white for Texas rig, I think it looks like a bait fish, so I always make sure I have some white Senkos on hand. Then I got these in a mystery tackle box. 2 packs of Excite baits. Never used them, just because I always fish Yamamoto. Alright, one more company that I use religiously, Z-Man. They got killer stuff for smallmouth. Got some TRD hogs, tons and tons of Nedrig. I guess not tons of Nedrig stuff. I thought I had a lot of Nedrig stuff. Alright, these are killer trailers for jigs. TRD craws, so I always make sure to have these. I wanted to try these drop shot worms. They're fine. I wouldn't buy them over like robo worms or the Strike King Dream Shots, but I've caught on them. They're fine. And this is just miscellaneous Z-Man stuff. Got a craw. These are little flukes. I've caught on these, but I haven't caught on the flukes. Lastly, we got the miscellaneous stuff. I guess these aren't miscellaneous, but fish, a lot of swim baits. I fish Guggen, Kitech, Strike King, basically any of the big swim baits. So I use 3.3 inch for bigger stuff, but generally when I'm smallmouth fishing, I use the 2.75 for the Rage Swimmers, 2.8 Kitechs. Smallmouth, just slam these. If I'm having a hard day, throw this on, get a bite like first cast, I swear. It's incredible. These I got at a tournament. They're black and blue, probably won't fish them very often, but they are similar to their Rage Menace bugs, so I'll give them a shot. Eliminators, I thought these were going to be a huge deal. Or like, I thought they were going to be a big hit, and not really. I haven't caught anything on these. Right. Reaction Innovations, Kinky Beaver. Once again, they're good baits, but there's other things I'd fish instead of them. There's another mystery tackle box. Flukes probably will never get used. Some swim baits, another thing probably not gonna get used. Net mates, these are good. I use these crawl trailers on jigs. If you haven't noticed, I fish jigs a lot, and I have a lot of trailers. So these are good. I'll use these. Guggen, I don't know how. I didn't buy these. I think I beat my brother on a bet, and he had to buy me a pack. But there's multiple colors, so maybe he just gave me a assorted pack. I don't know. But I would not recommend these. They don't stand up. The rattle's cool, but they don't stand up, so it's not really a Ned rig thing. And then lastly, we got some Gets It tubes. Before I got into the Strike King tubes, these are what I used. They're a little bit smaller, so I still use them when I'm looking for a more finesse tube. But generally, I'm fishing the Strike Kings.